Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our webinar today. Good afternoon to those of you on the East Coast. Our webinar today is going to be, well, you can see our title, Boost Your Business Efficiency with Shortcuts Reports. So we're going to be doing a webinar on reporting today. Okay. I'll be your presenter. For those of you that haven't joined our webinars before, my name is Angel Gonzalez, and for those of you that have, you're probably very familiar with my voice by now. All right, you guys, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay, so again, just a little bit of housekeeping. The duration of this webinar is going to be about 30 minutes, you guys, and then we'll allow 10 minutes for Q&A at the end if we need. Don't forget that you need to turn your speakers on to hear the webinar, so hopefully if they're not on, you're running to turn them on now. And also, you guys, feel free to ask questions throughout the webinar using the chat box or the question box. All right, so our learning objectives for today, understand the importance of regular reporting, understand the reporting process and be familiar with key reporting categories, be able to identify retail and service spending trends, increase efficiency and productivity of employees, and understand how reports can answer your common questions about business performance. Okay, so what we've done is we've actually reviewed each section of the reports and given you some questions to focus on and how to answer those questions with your shortcuts reports. Okay, so why spend time on reporting? Okay, so we recommend you spend time on reporting because reports can give you insight into the behind the scenes of your business, right? And help you identify crucial information. Okay, and especially for those of you that are behind the chair doing hair, sometimes you're not always aware of everything that's going on in the salon because you're busy with your own clients. So the reporting can really help you get a closer look at what's going on. Okay, by analyzing and understanding your figures, you set yourself up for future planning and growth. Okay, and also reporting helps you to pinpoint trends in client and employee behaviors. Okay, so the reporting process. So you guys, obviously, we enter our data into shortcuts, and that's where our appointment data, transactional data, client data, that's where all of our information lives, okay? And we know we can run reports on them, okay? But that's not the end of the process, right? So the next is, how do I analyze these reports to actually get the information that I'm looking for, okay? And then what is the action that I'll take? And then the value that I could possibly get out of that. Okay, so what I want you guys to think about today as we're going through these reports is not only, oh yeah, I can go run those reports and I can get that data, but then what are we going to do with that data when we get it? Okay, so the reporting categories in shortcuts, so hopefully most of you are familiar with all of these. Okay, we have appointments, right, where we talk about appointment data, business, clients, employee, end of day, miscellaneous, services, inventory, transactions, and walk-in manager. Okay, so for those of you that are strictly walk-in, obviously you're not going to focus on the appointment reports. Okay, but for those of you, and then for those of you that are strictly appointment book, you're not going to focus on the walk-in manager reports. Okay, but we want to have obviously a little bit for everybody here today. All right, so there's the categories we have available in shortcuts. Again, hopefully most of you are familiar with these. Okay, so the first one we're going to talk about is the appointment reports. Okay, so our appointment reports help us to keep track of appointment activity. They also, this category really focuses on appointment revenue and the client booking behavior. Okay, so some of the questions we've thought about our appointment reports. How can I forecast future revenue? Okay, so how do I know what I can expect to be coming in? How many clients are booking online compared to in person? Okay, and do most of my clients request specific employees for their services? Okay, so based upon these questions, you guys, we've looked at a few reports that we think can help to answer. Okay, so the value of future appointments report is a great way to be able to forecast what you have coming in the future. Okay, so right here, the value of future appointments, okay, you can see we've given a definition for this report for you. I'm not going to read this all out, of course, you guys, but remember, this will be, this particular webinar will be recorded and up on the website after for you guys to view at a later time as well. Okay, but this report shows us things like the percentage of appointments that each employee has for the time period that you've pulled. Okay, total value of booked appointments for the time period, okay, for each employee. It'll also give us total value for that time period for the whole salon or barbershop. Okay. The graph of the value of booked appointments per employee. Okay, and then the value of booked appointments per month. So if you run this for a larger period than a month's time, you can see if July is doing better than August, or we're in August now, well, almost at the end. So we might run this for September and October and see which month do we need to focus on getting busier. Okay, any questions about that report? All right. Okay, so how do I tell if more clients are booking online or in the salon or via phone? Okay, so we have the BookME Statistics report. Okay, again, we've given you a definition of this report. Okay, what this report can show us is it can give us employee statistics. So this section here shows us statistics broken down for each employee. Okay, so number of bookings, value of BookME bookings, and also the number of point of sale bookings, and then the value of the point of sale bookings. Okay, so it gives us that information here. It gives us the average booking value. Okay, it gives us the value, it gives us down here the service breakdown. It gives us the BookMe percentage of total bookings. So you can actually see from this report, you guys, a really great snapshot of how many clients are booking through point of sale and how many clients are booking online and what kind of revenue does that mean to you. Okay. Any questions about the BookMe Statistics report? Nope. Okay. Okay, so I just wanted to show you the second page of this report as well, okay, because here it will really help to break down the number of bookings, okay, so you can see here it gives us this bar graph and it gives us the number of bookings, okay, and then here you can see it breaks it down for BookMe bookings and point of sale bookings, okay, and then below it gives us the value, okay, so the extension of that report gives us a little more detail. Okay. The next one we're going to look at, so how do we know if most of our clients are requesting specific employees? Okay, so we've pulled the tag usage report for you here. Okay, and the tag usage report, you guys, is based upon the tags that you have set up in your appointment book. So remember that you control these and you can edit and add and delete from from the list that you have. Okay, so this report will show us the top 10 tags. Okay, you can see here it gives us a pie chart. Okay, and then a number as well as a percentage. Okay, it gives us the number of appointments or visits here. Okay, it gives us, of course, the date and time and the employee as well. You guys, this is a report that you can run per employee as well if you'd like. So if you just want to see it for a single staff member and see how many request appointments, how many, walk-in appointments, or whatever your tags might be, you can run it for a single staff member as well. This particular example here is for the whole salon. Okay. So any questions about the tag usage report? All right. Okay. The next section we're going to focus on is the business reports. So the business reports, again, can help us gain useful insight into overall sales data. So this category focuses, you guys, primarily on business revenue and financial management. Okay, so again, some questions that we wanted to help answer, and then we'll look at the reports that we think you can get these answers from. So, was this month's revenue higher than the last few months? Okay, how much value is outstanding on unused or unclaimed gift certificates? Okay, do I always make about the same revenue on every Thursday? And are my clients still paying with cash instead of using cards? All right, so let's take a look at the reports that can help us answer these questions. Okay, so was this month's revenue higher than the last few months? Okay, so you guys, we can look at the sales trend report. Okay, and again, this is under the business category. We've given you a definition of this report as well. Okay, I can run this for any time period that I like. Okay, but basically, you guys, it'll give us a little trend of whether or not I'm doing better or worse from month to month throughout time. So over a quarter or maybe a 6-month period, I can really take a look at the trends. Okay, so it gives me historical sales by month here. Okay, it gives me the total amount, or sorry, it gives me the amount per month and then the total amount. Okay, so not only does it give us this graph so that we can actually physically see the ups and downs, it's giving us those numbers as well. Okay, any questions about the sales trend report? Let's see. The question is, will it give you year-to-year comparison? This particular report does not do that. Of course, you could run the report for 1 year against another. But if you want to look into that information, Daryl, I would recommend looking at your scorecard data within your Smart Console, because that will give you this month this year versus this month last year, and then obviously it'll allow you to compare that information. Any other questions about the sales trend report? All right. Okay, so the outstanding gift certificates report. So for those of you that are using BookME, this obviously will not apply to you because you gather that information about your gift cards in the gift card console. Okay, so this is for those of you that are actually using gift certificates through your Shortcuts point of sale. Okay, so again, we've given you a definition of the report here. Okay, you can see here that the number that was registered to the gift certificate is listed here. Okay, it shows you the client that it was sold to. Okay, it gives us the date sold, the original amount. Okay, it'll give us the last redeemed for that particular gift certificate, as well as the outstanding amount of that certificate as well. Okay, so you guys, any certificates that have been fully used will no longer be on this report, okay, because they have a value of 0, and then they basically just kind of poof, go away. Okay. Any questions about the outstanding gift certificate report? All right. Okay. The next one we brought up here is the takings comparison report. So do I always make the same amount on every Thursday, or the same amount of revenue each Thursday? Okay, so this particular report can give me information over, again, any time period that I choose. Okay, you can see here it shows me the start of the week. Okay, it shows me down at the bottom, gives me a total. Okay, here it gives me number of clients, and then here you can see it's giving me the daily takings. Okay, so each week I can go through and I can compare the takings for those days and weeks. Okay, so this is a report, you guys, that can be really powerful, right? Because if you aren't doing the same amount or better, we then need to look at why, right? Okay. Any questions about the takings comparison report here? All right, awesome. Okay, so the next one here we brought up is the takings breakdown. Okay, so are my clients still paying with cash instead of using cards? So this can really help us to analyze the payment types that are being used. Okay, so it gives us the date, so it breaks it down by day, okay, for the time period that we run. It gives us total cash, total check, total credit, and then here you can see it gives us the total at the end. Okay, so you might think you're a cash business, but then run this report and realize that more and more of your clients are using credit cards or using debit cards. Okay, any questions about the takings breakdown report? Okay. Okay, now you guys, we did do an employee performance webinar earlier this year, okay? So some of the reports that we talk about in the employee report section might mimic or match some of the ones that we covered already, but we just want to review them again because, again, they're really important for looking at our employee behavior. Okay, so these employee reports can help us gain useful insight into employee behavior. So this category, you guys, focuses on employee KPIs and comparing employee statistics. Okay, so the questions that we wanted to help answer here: how do my employees rank against each other? Okay, so that's going to be my favorite report, the employee ranking report. Okay, are clients generally always rebooking? Okay, so we can look at rebooking stats. And which employee brings in the highest revenue for their services performed? Okay, so let's take a look at the reports that we think can help to answer those questions. Okay, so like I said, the first one here is the employee ranking report. Okay, so this gives us our top 10 employees. Okay, again, we've given you a definition of the report here. Okay, and what this report does, you guys, is it breaks down in a total of 9 categories. Okay, service revenue, product revenue, total, so who's best in all of those areas. Service dollar per hour, okay, product dollar per hour, and then the guest count. Okay, average service ticket, average product ticket, and average ticket overall. Okay, so again, this gives us the top 10 and it gives us our top employee in each category. Okay, so you can see here, Anna looks like she's the top in 7 of the 9 categories. So that employee is doing really well. Okay, this is a really great way, you guys, to understand who exceeds in what areas in a really quick manner, right? Because I can say, oh, well, if, you know, Helen's guest count is low and she's not making any dollars in products and she's not making any dollars in services, then maybe we need to do something to help her boost her clientele. Okay, so that's our employee ranking report. Okay, the next one we want to look at is the rebooking report. And you guys, I just want to remind you, in order to use rebooking and shortcuts, you need to make sure that the prompt for employee credit on rebookings is turned on. So that's going to be in your setup and in the setup configuration and in the appointment book section. Okay, but here what this will show us is it will give us a list of each of our employees. Okay, it'll give us their number of visits or number of clients that visited them. Okay, it'll give us their number of rebookings over that time period, and then it'll give us their rebooking percentage. Okay, and then of course, you guys, it also gives you a total for the salon. Okay, so you can see in this particular example, obviously we were doing some testing here. We didn't do so great in rebooking. Obviously your percentage should be a lot higher than 1%. Okay, but this particular report, you guys, can give you a really good idea on who's rebooking and who isn't, and which of the staff members need some coaching on that. Okay, and then combining this report with the value of future appointments report, you have a really powerful tool to then show the employee what they don't have, right? So because you're not rebooking, you don't have any revenue next month. Okay. Any questions about our rebooking breakdown report here? All right. Okay, and the next one we brought in here, you guys, is the services by employee report. So which of my employees brings in the highest revenue for their services performed? Okay, again, over any date range you'd like, you can run this report. Okay, what it does here, you guys, is it right up at the top, it gives us total service revenue for the entire store over that time period. It also tells us which employees we're including or if we've done all staff. Okay. Here it shows us the percentage in the bar or in the pie graph that each employee has contributed to. Okay, and then down here, you guys, it gives us the bar graph. Okay. Further to this, you guys, if you double click on either the pie graph or the bar graph, it will actually bring up for that particular employee a breakdown of those services as well. So if you want to see, because Anna was 41% of your service revenue during that time, if you want to see what she actually sold or what she performed, double click on that blue area for Anna and it's going to pop up a list of all of her services and the prices. Okay, so any questions about our services by employee report? All right. Okay, so that brings us to our client report section. Okay, so the client report section, you guys, focuses on visit frequency, client referrals, and client spending habits. Okay, so our clients canceling a lot. Okay, how do new clients find my business? And I want to reward my top spending clients. How do I find them? Okay, so let's take a look at the reports that we think can answer these questions. Okay, so the first one here, you guys, is the canceled appointments report. Okay, so this particular report, again, over any time period that you choose, okay, can show you statistics on any client that was booked, how many appointments they had, if they showed up, if they no-showed, if they canceled, okay, and also if an appointment was deleted, and it gives you a percentage of all of those as well. Okay. It also gives you information such as the log date time, so the date and time when the appointment was canceled in shortcuts, as well as the employee that processed the cancellation. So you can see, you know, when it was canceled, you can see who canceled it, okay, and then you can see a percentage of how often do they show up, no show, and cancel. Any questions about this report here? All right. And remember, you guys, we're just talking about these briefly. I would certainly encourage you guys to go and run some of these reports and take a look at that data within your own business. And, you know, because again, some of this is just test data for us, right? But you guys could be able to, you guys might be able to see some really powerful information in there. All right, the next one here is our referral activity report. Okay, so this one, you guys, takes a look at your referral methods that you have set up in Shortcuts. So is it Facebook, Instagram, how am I getting referrals, as well as our client referrals. Okay, so it will show us the amount of money that's coming from our referral methods. versus the amount of money that's coming from client referrals directly. Okay, and then here, how many come from no referrals specified. Okay, so it breaks that information down for us into percentages here. Okay, it gives us a count for each. Okay, it gives us a total for each, as well as a total as a whole. Okay, so this one's really important, right, you guys, because if you get 0 referrals from Facebook, maybe you don't need to spend as much time on that Facebook page as you do. Okay, or if we get 0 referrals from the mailers that we're sending out, I don't know how many of you still do things like that, but maybe we don't need to spend that money on postage, and maybe we need to focus more online. Okay, so this one can be really important. Any questions? Any questions about the referral activity report? Okay, so this brings me to one of our favorite reports. Okay, so I want to reward my top spending clients. How do I find them? Well, that would be this top spending clients report. Okay, so this information will give us the top 20 clients. Okay, it will give us the business total for the time period, again, that you run. It'll give us the client's name. Okay, it'll give us the number of tickets that they had, so the amount of times they came in and had a transaction with you over that time period, their average spend, and then their total spend. Okay, so for those of you that want to reward people that come in and spend money in your store, this is a really great way to find out who they are. Okay, now for some of you, you're probably thinking, I know who these people are. They're the people that are here all the time. But it might surprise you, right? So I would still encourage you to run this report because you might get some information in there that you weren't expecting. Okay. Any questions about the top spending clients report? All right. Okay, that brings us on to our end of day report section. Okay, so the end of day section really, you guys, helps us keep track of the day-to-day activities, okay, as well as this section or this category focuses on business takings, balances, and information like that. So what is the average ticket at the point of sale? And how long are my employees spending on the end of day procedure? Okay, this is actually something that I used to track in the salon that I worked at, you guys, as a manager, because if they were spending a whole lot of time on end of day, 30 minutes a night or even 20 minutes a night, they obviously need some help or need some assistance in that process. All right, so the first one we're going to look at here in the end of day section is our training summary. So all of you should be going, yep, that's a report I run every day. And if you don't, you guys, you should be, okay? Because the trading summary is basically what it says. It is a summary of the day's trade, okay? So from midnight to midnight, this is all of the information that happened on that particular day. Okay, so it shows us takings, it shows us net receipts, okay? It gives us some statistics about discounts and voided tickets and expenses. Okay. It also gives us those ticket averages that we were just talking about, right? So what's the average ticket at the point of sale? Okay. It gives us sales breakdown, and it also gives us prepayments or liabilities as well as redemption. So I can see all of that information in one report. Okay, and you guys, if I just go here, I have one more slide on the trading summary here, okay, because it gives us some other information as well, right? It gives us client detail, okay, so walk-in versus new versus returning, okay. It gives us employee breakdown, so if we want to see their average ticket as well or how much money they did in products and services, okay. It gives us net sales as well as liabilities down here as well. And that's going to be our gift certificates, series sales, things like that. Okay. And you guys, further to the information here, remember that anytime you run a report, anytime you see that little next button in your reports, you always want to go forward and expand or exhaust those options. This report for the trading summary, you can also break it down and see what employee sold which services and what employee sold what products, and you can see all that information in your end-of-day trading summary report here. All right, I'm not going to spend too much more time on this one because I know you guys are all very familiar with the trading summary. So I'm going to move on to the session till balance. Okay, so the session till balance, of course, also an end-of-day report, you guys, gives us, again, like I said, some really valuable information. So first off, that time taken that I was talking about, it actually tells us how long it took that employee to start the day, or excuse me, to end the day. So here, you can see the balance start time, the balance finish time, whether or not the drawer actually balanced and the employee that was responsible. Okay, it gives us the opening float amount, the closing float amount, and then obviously, you guys, this report shows us each and every attempt the employee took to try to balance the drawer. Okay, so attempt 1, attempt 2. Okay. Any questions about the session till balance? Okay. The question is here, you guys, can you run this report during the day when you change receptionists? So this report is based upon an end of day or start of day being completed in the store. So Eddie, the answer is yes. If you'd like, you can actually have your reception team run or stylist or whomever is responsible for doing start of day and end of day. But you can actually have them close the day in the middle of the day, and then you get a session till balance. Okay, so anytime you do a balance in the drawer, there is a report for it. Now, alternatively, if you don't need them to do an actual end of day in the middle of the day, Eddie, you can use the report that's called end of day till balance. Now that report is also in the end of day section. Okay, however, that one will give you a place where they can manually write out the totals that they currently have in credit card and in cash. Okay, so that they don't necessarily have to do a complete end of day, but they can still get their count when the receptionists change. Okay, if that makes sense. All right, so that's our session till balance here. Now the next one we want to look at here is our service reports. Okay, so the service reports, you guys, focus on service counts as well as service revenue. So what are my most popular services, and how quickly, or how can I quickly see what each employee level charges for services? Okay, so the first one, you guys, obviously the top selling product, or excuse me, top selling services report tells us which report or which services are being sold more. It gives us the total value as well as the average charge for that service. Okay, so this can really, again, this is a report, you guys, that you might think your top selling services are, you know, a list of these 10 services, but you actually might be surprised about some of them that sneak in there. Okay, so this is a really good report to run. The top selling services, you guys, are services that are really great to do promotions on. Because we know people love them, we know people want to buy them, and we know people will continue to get them if they get them on a promo, to start. Okay, so that's our top selling services. And then the next one, you guys, is service breakdown with levels. Okay, so this will really help you to identify what you actually have configured in your shortcut system based upon each level. So it'll break it down here per level for us, which is really great. Okay, so here you can see it shows us the employee level. Okay, it shows us the service category that we're looking at. Okay, it shows us the time. It shows us if there's a break time as well, you guys. It shows us if there's any points associated, if there's a cost, okay, and then the default service details. So the default duration and pricing details are shown for each service in addition to level-specific details. Okay, so again, you can see it's broken down per level here. Okay. And that's important, right? So some of you spend a lot of time making sure that all your level times and pricing are set up correctly. Okay, so instead of actually going into your service screen and going into every service to check it, this is a really great way you can run this report and just make sure you have everything tidied up like you want. All right, so that's the service breakdown with levels report. Any questions about that one? Okay. So the next one here, you guys, is our inventory reports. Okay, so obviously, you guys, the inventory reports really help us keep track of product value and levels. Okay, so it focuses on, the reports we're going to talk about here focuses on usage and product sales. Okay, so what is the value of my current inventory on hand? What are the most popular products? And how much professional inventory was used this month or this year? Okay. So the inventory control report, you guys, this is the one that can help us find our current value on hand. Now, you guys, unless my inventory counts are up to date and I have correct buy prices and sell prices and shortcuts, this report will not be correct, right? Okay, so this report here will show us what you have set as the sell price. Okay, what's your gross profit percentage? What's your quantity in stock? Okay, it'll show us things like what our warning level is, our maximum level, our on order, okay, as well as our average cost for that product. Shows us our buy price, and then of course that number we were talking about, which is the value on hand. Okay, so again, you guys, I'm just going to go back and say this report is not very useful if your information in your inventory screen is not correct. All right, so that's our inventory control report. Okay, now the next one, you guys, just like the top selling services report, is top selling products report. Okay, so it does the same thing for us. Okay, it gives us a total for the period. It shows us how many of each of those we sold. Okay, total value of sales, the profit, as well as the percentage of profit. Okay, again, you guys, those numbers are not going to be correct unless the information you have in shortcuts is correct. Okay, but of course the quantity sold and the total value will be correct. Okay, so again, this is a really great way to understand what our clients are actually purchasing, okay, and what our favorite products are. Okay, I might do a product of the month special, okay, because we know people love the multi-active toner, okay, and then remember, we get all these people to buy it, and then they'll continue to buy it when it's not on sale. All right, so that's our top selling products report. And then the next one here, you guys, we have is the professional inventory usage. Okay, so how much professional inventory was used this month or this year, right? Because I can, again, run this for any time period that I need. Okay, here up at the top, you guys, you can see it gives us totals for all product sales in the period selected. So meaning sold to hashtag business, right? Total product cost, quantity of that item and for that line and for that company, as well as the average product cost. Okay, so this is really great information, right? Because you might look at the cost of your color and the amount of revenue you brought in based upon color services. Okay, and there better be a balance there, right? Okay, so that's the professional inventory usage report, you guys. Any questions about that one? Okay. All right, you guys, the next section here is the transactions reports. Okay, so this category focuses on activities such as sales, refunds, discounts, expenses, voided transactions, and so on. Okay, so what is the value of friends and family discounts this month? Okay, how much are we spending on magazines for the salon, and who is voiding at the point of sale and why? Okay. Looks like I have a question maybe based upon one of the product reports. Give me just a second. So the question is when you use a product at the back bar, how do you move it from the retail? So Melissa, you don't move it from retail to professional. What you do is you simply check it out as consumed and it goes into that professional inventory usage report. So what you would do is at the point of sale, you get your hashtag business client, you bring up the product, and then you close that sale and it'll go into that report for you. Okay, so you guys, the transaction reports. Okay, so what is the value of friends and family discounts this month? Okay, so first, you guys, we have the discount reason breakdown report. Okay, this report, you guys, we also have discount reason breakdown by employee. Okay, so here I can see what discounts we're giving, how many times, the discount given, and the amount received. Okay, on the discount reason by employee, I can see which employee is giving them as well. Okay, and I can break that down per employee. Okay, so I can see here that the family discount was given only once during that period and the friends discount twice during that period. And then I can also see the discount given as well as the revenue we brought in. Okay. All right, so that's the discount reason breakdown. The next one, you guys, is the expenses report. Okay, so how much are we spending on magazines for the salon or for the business? Okay, so here, the expense report, again, over any time period, I can run this. Okay, and it will give me information on, which reasons were used for expenses and also what the total was. Okay, again, you guys, this is one of those reports that you can drill into. So if you double click on any of these sections, you'll get more detail as well. Okay, the next one, you guys, is the voided transactions report. Okay, and of course, this is a report that we would run, again, to find out who's voiding at the point of sale and also to look at the reason why we're voiding. Okay, it gives us information about the original sale. It gives us information about the transaction number and when it was voided, the operator in the terminal, the transaction employee, so the person that was associated with the transaction, payment type, the amount, the void reason, so why are we voiding, okay, and then the total amount voided as well as the items voided. Okay, so that's our voided transactions report. Again, you guys, this is a good report to look at just to make sure that this isn't being done in excess, because if it is, there might be a different reason why. Okay, And you guys, that brings us to our very last report section today, which is the walk-in manager reports. Okay, so this report, you guys, will really help us take a look at or focus on client visit habits as well as employee service times and things like that. Okay, the two reports we're going to look at today will help us look at which of our employees is the most efficient, as well as how long are employees taking on particular services. Okay, so again, if you're appointment-based, these reports obviously would not be reports you would need to look at. Okay, so the first one, the employee efficiency. Okay, so this report, you guys, will show us longest wait time, average wait time, average downtime, average visit time, as well as number of services. Okay, it'll also give us the efficiency. So the efficiency is the ratio of how long an employee is in service compared to the whole time they are working, and is calculated as in-service time divided by working time as a percentage. Okay, so for each employee, you'll get an efficiency. You'll get number of visits. You'll get total across the whole store, which also gives you total efficiency, working time, downtime, in-service time, and average service time. Okay, so that's our employee efficiency report. And then the next one, you guys, is the employee service efficiency. Okay, so this one is slightly different, where it gives us each of the service categories, okay, the service time, okay, the service itself, okay, and then the service average. Okay, so I can actually see here how long each employee is taking for each service and then the average they have. Okay, so if you have some people that are taking like way longer than others to do particular services, they need some training in that area. Okay, so any questions about those two efficiency reports, the employee efficiency or the employee service efficiency? All right, you guys, so what have we learned today? Why regular reporting is important for your business. Okay, the reporting process. Reports can help answer your common questions about business performance. We learned about the key reporting categories, which you guys is really all of them in shortcuts because there's some really important reports in each of those categories. We learned how to measure the efficiency and productivity of employees, as well as how to identify product performance trends. Okay, so some of you guys might have some questions. So you guys, of course, we always have some time for Q&A, even though we did some questions throughout. Okay, so as you're typing out those questions and thinking about what you want to ask, or if there's anything you do want to ask, I just want to show you guys that there are some videos that we'd recommend that you take a look at based upon this type of webinar that we did today. Okay, so take a look at the Getting Started with Scorecard. Okay, so one of the questions earlier today was, can I compare year to year? So your scorecard in your Shortcuts console can really help you look at that kind of detail. Okay, also the Getting Started with Reports. Okay, just if you're new to Shortcuts and new to running reports, it can just give you a little overview of how that works. Okay, Viewing Client Retention Report. Okay, so that's another really great report that you can run, and we have a really great video on how to do that. Okay, and viewing BookME bookings. So this gives you instruction on how to see the details of all the bookings that you had through your Shortcuts console. Okay, so you guys remember the YouTube channel is just youtube.com/shortcutsusa. Okay, and I'm going to give you some of that detail now. Okay, so you guys, thank you so much, and of course, if you still have questions, I'm not going anywhere yet. But if you need to contact us there's the number to the office. It's toll free, and you can call and get anybody on that line. Okay. If you have any questions about the reports or the stuff that we covered today, feel free to email the education team. Okay. You guys, information and questions can always be posted to our Facebook page, and make sure you go and like us as well. So facebook.com/shortcutsusa. And then you guys, the YouTube channel that I just spoke about. Okay, so youtube.com/shortcutsusa. The 4 videos that I mentioned, as well as, at least probably 100 others that are available now, you guys, that are really useful and helpful for you and your staff. So you guys, I'll wait just a couple more minutes to see if anybody else has any questions. But for those of you that are going to drop off, thank you so much for your time today and for taking the time to join us on the webinar today. And hopefully you guys learned some really great reporting tools. Okay, and just remember as well, you guys, that we've recorded this webinar and it should be posted to our website hopefully within the next week or so. So if you go to shortcuts.com/webinars, or excuse me, shortcuts.com, shortcuts.net/webinars, you'll find the place to register for future webinars as well as the webinar library. So we'll have it up on our website on the webinar library shortly. All right, you guys, well, it looks like that's all the questions we have for today. Thank you so much for joining. And you guys, we aren't probably going to have another webinar until the first of the year, so stay tuned, and obviously we'll let you know when it's time to start signing up, but stay tuned to the website as well, and you'll see those new webinars come up. Thank you so much, everybody, for your time today. Enjoy the rest of your day. And hopefully you're all going to run back to your stores now and do some great reporting.